there. Thank you very much for being here. It's always very hard for fundraising to follow patients and clinicians, but we are extremely important, and obviously we couldn't be doing all of the great stuff if we didn't have fundraising to support it. But I have to say, I could listen to you guys for ages, so hopefully fundraising will be close to as interesting, if not quite there. So just a bit about me. So I'm new, and I've been at EAAA now for 6 months. I actually had a commercial marketing career working for EE and did some volunteering and felt after a number of years, really, could I put that marketing knowledge to use in a better environment? And Macmillan were very generous and allowed me to come and work as a marketing manager. And I looked after the world's biggest coffee morning. And I learned so much from there and went on to be a head of events and marketing at Oxfam. And then I was lucky enough to get an opportunity in a local hospice. So I feel now one of the best bits of my job is bringing together the experiences of the different fundraising teams in all of those areas and being able to channel that into an absolutely amazing, unique regional charity, which is the East Anglian Air Ambulance. So what is the environment that we're working in? Well, obviously, you'll have heard lots in the media about fundraising at the moment. So the fundraising environment is increasingly challenging, and we are increasingly being challenged in our practices and how we approach things. But that's a real opportunity, and I think it shines a spotlight on us for us to do the best that we can possibly do and make sure that fundraising deliver to the East Anglian Air Ambulance brand. So that's a really big responsibility. The market environment also is completely changing. So by 2033, it's estimated that 1/4 of the population will be in the 65 years plus. So we need to look at our marketing products and how we offer things to make sure that we're targeting the right people. Also, those aged over 50 hold 80% of the UK's wealth. So in terms of the Pareto principle, that 80-20, we know very much that we need to be thinking about those older age groups for fundraising and for volunteering. People born before 1945 actually give 34% more money to charity at the moment than baby boomers. So again, this is a real market factor that we need to consider. And people aged 50 and over form 2/3 of the volunteer workforce. And volunteering is a way that we need to really, is something we need to look at and focus on in terms of delivering our fundraising effectively and cost effectively. So the overall objective for fundraising needs to be that we raise a sustainable income stream that can be relied on, that can be planned against. We need to develop products with at least a 5-year strategy, not a 1-year time frame. And we need to make sure we do that in the most effective way. We need to look at return on investment. So for every £1 we spend in generating funds, we need to really be aiming for a minimum of a £3 return on that over a longer time frame. But we also need to be innovative and develop new products. So we do need to look at the long term rather than expect a return quickly in that 6 or 12 months. We also need to focus on net income. So charities like Macmillan and Oxfam and Cancer Research UK, for example, raise hundreds of millions of pounds, but they invest significant amounts of money in order to generate that. Really successful initiatives such as Race for Life, which has been successful over recent years, cost an awful lot to invest and put on, but they had a longer term strategy which meant those supporters were acquired into the organisation and are now long-term regular giving supporters. But it takes real guts and investment to acquire those supporters. And critically, given the market environment and everything we've heard about fundraising in the media, we need to make sure, and my team and I need to make sure, we're managing all our fundraising methods really closely, and we have the long-term reputation in mind as a core part of the strategy. So what are EAAA's strengths? Well, we have an absolutely amazing brand and a dynamic cause, and the sort of brand awareness and patient stories that lots of other charities would be extremely keen to have. We have relevant stories, so all of our supporters in our 3 million target regional areas in our target audience can see and hear stories about people in their area and in their local community that we have helped. We've got some absolutely brilliant partnerships and significant donations from our supporters. We have some amazing high-value supporters, and we have corporate partners who are putting our logo on their vehicles that are going across the region. We have extreme loyalty of local supporters and volunteers. We have lots and lots of people going to each of our community fundraising offices to help out each week, whether that be to count money, to attend an event in our name, to collect a cheque and do a presentation. And they're all giving up their free time in order to do that because they believe our cause is so important. We have lots of local service delivery and evidence and those key patient stories. We also have hugely passionate fundraising staff. One of my colleagues describes it as infecting people with our passion. So we have people who could just who work their hardest and are really keen to continue to improve our fundraising practices and do more. And we have a brilliant catchment in terms of target. So we've got 3 million people, all of which for whom this charity is relevant. It could be their family, it could be their sister, brother, mum, dad that we help. And it applies to all of the people in that area. That's a really good reason to support us because we'll be there for them. So in 2014, there was a piece of research done by Just Giving around the most generous towns in the UK. And we're extremely lucky to have 2 of the most generous towns in this list. Bearing in mind this is just online giving, so this doesn't take into account all the other ways of donating. 52% of the Bedfordshire population donated to charity when this was done, and 38% of the Cambridge population donated to charity. Overall in the UK, 44 million people donate to charity on a regular basis, giving an average of £16 a month. So with our 3 million catchment, at the moment, with the people that we have recorded on our database, this means we currently have around 5% of our population. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to write a target to say let's have 52% of that population in the next 12 months all donating, but we can see that those can be benchmarks for us to aim for, and we should be aiming to grow that 5% over the next few years and increase our supporters. And also, we do need to launch a regular giving campaign. So at the moment, people can donate via a range of ways, and the lottery, for example, is a really successful and one of our core income streams. But we need to look into launching a direct debit scheme so people could give that regular donation per month if that's how they'd like to do it. So what do we think should be the key focus areas for the next few years? So our lottery delivers £4.5 million of our target 10.2 income. So we need to build on that strength, but also use it as an acquisition tool. So when people join the lottery, we should be then inviting them to do other things and find out more about our organisation. We should enable direct debits, as I've discussed, and regular giving. And we should be looking at regular donations for people for whom the lottery isn't what they want to do. And we also plan to do some more direct mail appeals. So that would be targeting one-off gifts, but also the regular donation. We have some really good corporate partnerships, but we need to build on those. And we also have the opportunity to look at strategic partnerships where we're actually getting those partners to help deliver services. So at the hospice, for example, where I worked previously, there were corporate partners who donated vehicles to go and collect people who couldn't get to the hospice because they were too ill. So whether or not we could look at partners to provide vehicles, RRV support in strategic ways. And also, we should look at developing communications partners as well. So people that would email out to their target audiences and their customer bases with our messages and with information about what we do. And we also need to work closely at developing those corporate partners in Cambridge. We have some good examples of charity organisations in Cambridge doing fundraising for us, but we need to build on that, and it's a great target audience with lots of corporate partners there. We have some really good support from our high-value donors, and we want to build on that. We want to build more relationships and continue to manage the successful ones. And we also want to look at events, eBay, and online fundraising and products. So we have some flagship events which are doing really well, but we'd like to do more of that. We'd like to develop an online retail presence, looking at a possible eBay shop and an online shop. And that older target audience are starting to do lots more shopping online. They actually do around 40% of their buying is online. And at the moment, we don't have those online products to offer them, which we'd like to. So what should our approach be? We have an opportunity to develop, document and demonstrate our fundraising values. So all of those new initiatives we need to do, we need to put this at the core. We need to make sure we get input from supporters, invite feedback and listen. We need to be a beacon of good fundraising practice and always aim for higher than any new regulatory body asks of us. We should show that we listen to our supporters and make sure that we record any complaints and act on them promptly, but learn from them for the future. And we should regularly invite feedback, so look at possible online forums where people can efficiently tell us how they feel about what we're doing. We're going to continue to train and support our volunteers and our lottery canvassers, but we want to build on that, bringing them closer to our fundraising and to the overall organisation, making them feel a real part of our team. And we need to visibly uphold those values and be willing to be challenged on any values and make sure that we are acting within the new regulations when they come out. So we have an amazing support and people do amazing things for us. We're very lucky and thank you all for your support.